War never changes. These are the words that set the tone for one of gaming's most iconic franchises, Fallout. In this dystopian universe, a global nuclear war wipes out much of human civilization, leaving behind the world of radiation, mutants, and crumbling society. But here's the question we're tackling today. Could a world like Fallout actually come true? Could humanity really face such a devastating nuclear apocalypse, and if so, what would life look like in the aftermath? In this video, we'll dive into the science behind nuclear warfare, the possibility of surviving in vaults, the reality of radiation mutations, and whether humanity could ever rebuild after such a catastrophe. So grab your Pip-Boy and let's explore whether the world of Fallout could ever become more than just fiction. Welcome to Game Science and Love.
We've got some breaking news. Stand by.
The first step toward a Fallout-like world is a nuclear war. In the Fallout timeline, a series of geopolitical conflicts escalates to the point where major powers launch their nuclear arsenals, reducing much of the world to radioactive rubble. But could that ever really happen in our world? Right now, 9 nations hold the world's most destructive weapons: the US, Russia, China, India, Pakistan, the UK, France, North Korea, and Israel. Between them, they possess over 13,000 nuclear warheads. While global efforts have reduced the overall number of weapons since the Cold War, the sheer destructive power of today's nuke is far greater than ever before. To put that into perspective, the bomb drop on Hiroshima in 1945 was roughly 15 kilotons of TNT. Today's thermonuclear weapons can reach yields of over 100 megatons. Imagine! A single one of these modern bombs could wipe out an entire metropolitan area in 1 second. A single one of these modern bombs could wipe out an entire metropolitan area in seconds, releasing a fireball so intense it could vaporize everything within several miles. While nuclear war may seem like a relic of the Cold War, tensions between nuclear-armed nations still exist. Of course, conflicts in every society. Recent years have been rising tensions between the US and North Korea, ongoing conflicts between India and Pakistan, and global concerns over Russia's military aggression. All it will take is a miscalculation or an escalation to trigger a conflict. Now, the reality is, while the odds of a full-scale nuclear exchange remain low, they are not zero. Experts warn that the risk of a nuclear conflict is higher today than at any point since the Cold War. But if such a war were to occur, could it really lead to the Fallout-like scenario of global devastation? In Fallout, the world is plunged into chaos, with entire countries reduced to radioactive wastelands. In real life, a large-scale nuclear exchange would indeed cause widespread destruction. Immediate casualties could be in the millions, followed by long-term consequences like radiation sickness, environmental contamination, and what scientists call a nuclear winter. During a nuclear winter, the soot from burning cities could black out sunlight, lowering global temperatures and causing massive crop failures. Famine could kill millions more, and even those far from the initial blast would struggle to survive in a world where food and resources are scarce. While Fallout takes creative liberties with its post-nuclear world, the reality wouldn't be too far off. Survivors would face extreme hardships, including food scarcity, radiation exposure, and the breakdown of social order. Now, one of the most exciting yet terrifying aspects of Fallout is its radioactive mutations. From their grotesque goals to towering super mutants, radiation seems to have created an entirely new ecosystem of monsters. But could radiation really cause these kind of mutations in real life? Radiation can absolutely cause mutation, but the results aren't nearly as dramatic as Fallout's do. When radiation interacts with DNA, it can cause cells to mutate. This can lead to cancers, birth defects, and other health problems in both humans and animals. For example, after the Chernobyl disaster, scientists observed mutations in local wildlife. Some animals were born with deformities and plants showed signs of genetic damage. However, these mutations were subtle, nowhere near the scale of the dramatic transformations we see in Fallout. And I'm sorry to say, but that's that. So while you might see a two-headed cow or a frog with extra limbs, you won't have to worry about super mutants knocking on your door. And that being said, the long-term effects of radiation on ecosystems are still being studied. Areas like Chernobyl are fascinating case studies, as wildlife has started to reclaim the land despite high levels of radiation. While radiation hasn't created monsters, it certainly shaped the future of the local ecosystem. One of the coolest aspects of Fallout is the vaults. Yes, of course, that's why we love it, right? I don't know about you, but that's why I fell in love with it, especially at the time when I still don't have a PC and all I have is a phone, so the void is all I have. So, underground shelters designed to protect this humanity from nuclear fallout. In the game, thousands of people were saved by living in these massive underground bunkers. But, could you really survive in vaults like this in real life? Believe it or not, the concept of vaults isn't entirely fictional. During the Cold War, many countries including the US and Soviet Union built massive underground bunkers to protect government, officials, and civilians in case of a nuclear attack. The US, for example, constructed the Greenbrier bunker, a massive underground complex built to house members of Congress in the event of nuclear war. Other countries had similar plans with underground shelters designed to keep a select group of people alive for months or even years. Today, you can even buy your own private vault. Companies offer luxury bunkers with everything, from home theaters to hydroponic gardens. It has everything. These modern-day vaults are designed to keep people alive for extended periods, and they are a far cry from sterile environments of Fallout. But could vaults sustain life for decades as in Fallout? Now that's where the reality diverges. While bunkers can provide short-term survivals, maintaining an underground society for generations would be incredibly challenging. Food production, water, and air filtration would need constant maintenance, and long-term isolation could lead to psychological issues. Fallout's vaults are based on optimistic view of underground survival. In real life, vaults might help in the short term, but eventually, survivors would need to return to the surface to rebuild society. Even in Fallout, vault life isn't perfect. Many of the vaults were experimental, and we see how isolation, power struggles, and limited resources eventually lead to their collapse. It's a reminder that no matter how advanced our technology gets, the human element is always a challenge. Now, one of the Fallout's key themes is survival and rebuilding. After the bombs fall, humanity is left to pick up the pieces. Small, scattered communities form, each struggling to survive in a world where resources are scarce, and dangers lurk around every corner. But could humanity actually rebuild after such a devastating event? Despite the devastation, humanity has proven time and time again that we are resilient. After natural disasters, wars, and pandemics, people come together to rebuild. We've seen this throughout history, where communities band together to support one another in times of crisis. In the event of a nuclear apocalypse, it's likely that survivors will do the same. Small communities might form around remaining resources, scavenging for supplies and working together to rebuild society. While it wouldn't be easy, of course, humanity has the tools and the willpower to recover, even after a catastrophic event. Fallout's world shows the darker side of this recovery, with raiders, mutants, and power struggles. But in reality, cooperation and community will be the keys to rebuilding. Renewable energy sources, sustainable farming techniques, and technological advancement could help survivors restart civilization. So the main question is, could the world of Fallout ever come true? While a full-scale nuclear apocalypse is unlikely, the possibility of a catastrophic conflict isn't entirely off the table. Fallout's world may be exaggerated, but it serves as a warning of what could happen if humanity doesn't take steps to prevent such a disaster. But the good news is, we have the power to shape our future. By promoting global cooperation, reducing nuclear stockpiles, and investing in disaster preparedness, we can avoid the worst-case scenario and ensure a better future for generations to come. Because believe me, we won't be the last person to ever live in this planet. In the end, Fallout is a game, a reminder of the consequences of war and the importance of peace. While its world may stay fiction, it's up to us to make sure it never becomes reality. Thanks for watching this deep dive into the science of Fallout. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to see more game debunking content, hit the like button and be sure to subscribe to Game Science Unlocked for more videos exploring the real-world science behind your favorite games.